Back in 2013, SteamWorld Dig arrived and took me by storm. This weird little mining game appeared on the 3DS store one day, and with the last tenner in my account, bought into this dimly lit world of robots mining for resources. It carefully built its way up, going from resource gathering to a Metroidvania-esque game underneath, as you upgraded the protagonist Rusty to the best of his abilities. The brilliant thing about SteamWorld Dig is that it didn't lay its cards on the table straight up, but kept flashing them every now and then, to give you a little hint of what was to come. However, SteamWorld Dig 2 knows that the jig is up, and it cashes in almost immediately. Rusty has gone missing after defeating the villain of the first game, leading to his pal Dot to hunt the mines in a new town for any clues of his whereabouts. The game goes deeper into the lore of SteamWorld, introduces humans that have been mutated by years of living underground, and giving an explanation for Image & Form's previous game, SteamWorld Heist. Although, as it does, it leaves a little to be desired, in that just as it starts to introduce new things into the fold, it cuts them short for what feels like fear of overusing the mechanic driving that part of the story. For instance, Fen, Dot's companion throughout the game, starts by interacting with the world or giving small hints during the puzzles, but eventually as the game takes on a more open and free feeling, they begin to appear less and less until the climax of the game. That all said, Dig 2 is more of the original in the best possible ways. With its new glossy look, fantastic focus on puzzles, and the gameplay loop of collecting and turning in just being as addictive as ever, I'm actually quite glad that we got to the stopgap of Heist in between the re-release of SteamWorld Dig on every other platform under the sun, barring my microwave. My favourite part though is this emphasis on puzzles. I'm not talking about the way in which to dig into the mines, but the game splits off, like the original, into rooms to grab cogs to improve the skills you're unlocking. They're made to feel like you're daft, a little bit thick. Most of all, they make you feel very, very smart for figuring something out. Plus, as they have no real bearing on the overall game's ending other than making it easier, you really never have to worry about getting stuck. Just leave, dig a bit, maybe spend some hard-earned cash, and you'll find a way to help you finish later on in the game. See, it seems as though Image & Form have attempted something new with every SteamWorld game they've made, and I'm glad that's been their supposed goal. The issue is, Dig was such a fantastic video game because it was this short, encapsulated experience that I worried about heading into Dig 2's seemingly larger scope. It loses its charm, the in and out sort of attitude that it had, but quite like Dot heading down into the mines and coming back up half an hour later to turn everything in, SteamWorld Dig 2 was fantastic to pick up and put down until it was done. It kept that attitude, and it doesn't lose anything that the original held, and in fact makes it easier to enjoy in meaty chunks with its structured story, leading me to finish the game in about 10 hours. Combat in Heist was the strong point, but in Dig 2 it's an afterthought. Enemies can be felled with a bash of a pickaxe, but it's rudimentary to constrain itself within the confines of the digging focus of the game. It hasn't improved since the first game either. In fact, I'd probably say there's not that much difference between the two, and the upgrades associated with combat don't feel like they do a whole lot. That or the animations associated with them aren't very pronounced, and I hardly noticed. Speaking of upgrades, the smart choice this game introduces is having a free-form tech tree. As you collect cogs from various areas of the mine, you dump them into abilities that scale up from needing a single cog to about 4 or 5. As you carry on, you'll start to notice that cogs are getting harder and harder to find, but you can use the freeform to change for certain situations with particular upgrades, so you can just swap them on the fly. For instance, I never needed to use the pickaxe abilities that focused on combat, because I never felt the need to. I did though dump all my points into getting an unlimited amount of light so that I could see in the dark of the caves, so I won't be caught in the dark again. There's no wrong answer to how you want to play, and Dig 2 certainly lets you play how you like. Though, once I was done with the PC version, I got up and headed to my Nintendo Switch for a little dig on the go. Docked and undocked, it feels exactly the same as the PC version. In fact, I probably recommend buying the Switch version if you can, because just having the option to take it with you is a much better experience. It looks so good on that little screen as it does on my monitor or TV. SteamWorld Dig 2 is an excellent example of how to widen the focus of a previous smaller title and not lose the core of what made it fun. It lays out the right amount of new stuff while keeping the heart of the loop alive and kicking. While it's not this massive leap in ideas or a complete change in game, it's absolutely lovely to play. The only downside is, as far as I can tell, there's no New Game Plus to take your fully upgraded dot through to truly take advantage of that adventure and, get advantage of all the secrets the game holds. Either way, with the twang of the guitar in the air, I'm back off down the mines to seek my fortune once again.